Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm playing series V's I do for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is one I've been meaning to hit for a little while now, so I'm a little bit excited. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? I haven't worn this one in a little while. Boom! It's my Battle Arena Toshinden shirt. Which, if you are not familiar with Battle Arena Toshinden, yeah, that sounds about right. Battle Arena Toshinden, series of 3D fighting games that came out during the 32-bit era of video gaming, so your PlayStations, your Sega Saturns, what have you. And actually, for a little bit, you know, it had its clout and prestige. Like, it was a little bit of a thing. It was pretty much the first, like, if not the first, and I've heard it referred to as the first, so I'm just, you know, but it was at the very least one of the very first 3D-based, like, fighting games that focused on weapons combat. And it had its run, you know, and it did respectably for a little while, but basically once, like, the Soul Calibur series came in with, like, Soul Blade and then eventually, you know, the full Soul Calibur series, that pretty much just took the wind out of its sails. But I actually still really like the Battle Arena Toshinden series. It's, you know, whereas, like, the Soul Calibur stuff definitely took the weapons fighting aspect to, like, a much, you know, much bigger level. I always liked that with the Battle Arena Toshinden stuff, it kind of was a little bit of a mix of the weapons stuff, but then also almost like Street Fighter elements. And granted, yeah, they're a little bit rough today, but I still love them, man. I love the PlayStation era. That's one of my favorite things, so. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it a place that I've been meaning to hit? What place is it? Well, folks, I hope this doesn't spill. Boom! It's called Bo-Burgerz. Look at it, with a Z, like we're in the late 90s. This specifically, because you see, it's called Bo-Burgerz because it's burgers and boba. You see what they did there? This specifically is their horchata milk tea with boba. And I've been wanting to hit this place for a while. It's not particularly close to me, but it's close to a place that I occasionally go, and I'd seen this place. But they only open up at lunchtime, and you know, they hold for, you know, till into dinner and stuff, but they open at lunchtime. And I'm just never out this way around that time. So today I just decided to make a special trip. So let's go ahead. I enjoy some boba, and I love horchata. So let's go. We'll pop it in this way. All right, and then let's try to get a. Can we get a thing with the thing? Ah, look at it. It's there. Ah, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's give it a go. And it's just standard boba. They give you, like, there's lots of different options, like different flavors of boba, which, by the way, are these little tapioca balls. If you've never had them before, don't be frightened of them and stuff. There was a thing going around for a while where, like, people were like, people are eating them, and they're not digesting in their stomachs, and they're dying. And it was like, no, you're stupid. But no, they're like just these little, like, balls of, like, sugar and goodness. And you bite into them, and there isn't like a pop so much, but they do, you know, break open, and they're just this nice little textural sweet added thing. I don't know if they really flavor the drink itself. Like, I mean, there might be some level of that, you know, just sort of mildly dissolving, but they seem to hold in there pretty good. But, crap. Ugh. Well, there you go. There you go, Brandon. That's the type of person you are. One thing I will say, I was a little bit surprised they didn't have, like signature bobas. Because a lot of times, like, boba places will go over there and they'll have like signature blends, like ones that they've, come up with, just, their own creative process. This one, they had lots of ingredients and stuff, but, you know. It's good. I like it. It's exactly what I figured it would be. It's a mix between like a milk tea and a horchata. If you've never had horchata, by the way, horchata is fucking phenomenal. It's I'm gonna say Hispanic. It's mostly made in like Mexican restaurants and stuff like that. I just don't want to get the culture wrong on it. But it's like a rice drink, and it's super good. It tastes like basically drinking rice pudding. I love horchata. So this, I like it, but it runs into the problem where it's not quite as good as a milk tea, and it's not quite as good as a horchata. It's one of those things where it's doing both, and it's just not quite as good as either. It's still good. I like it. I don't think it's like a bad, thing or anything, but it's just one of those things where it's like, as I'm drinking it, I am getting a nice horchata taste. Get that little hint of kind of a cinnamon flavor to it, just to kind of accentuate it. And it's good. But, I'm thinking back to, like, having had, like, proper horchata from, like, proper sit-down Mexican restaurants. And, I mean, that's the best, But, these are still good. And at the end of the day, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's become less of a novelty thing in America. I feel like boba, like bubble tea and milk teas and stuff like that, they're definitely far more available than they were like 10 years ago. Even when I first started doing these reviews a little, like about 3.5 years ago, I did a review from this one chicken place, which sadly is no longer there. It really sucked. I liked them a lot. But I remarked at the fact that, like, they had, like the chicken and a bunch of different things, but they also had like a bubble tea station. And I was like, that's cool, having those combinations. But these days, it's not, I wouldn't say it's commonplace, but it's, you can get some bubble tea at a lot of places these days. And rightfully so, it's really good. This particular bubble tea, it's not the best bubble tea I've ever had or anything. Again, I've gone to like some places where they have like really cool signature ones and stuff, but it's perfectly fine. I am drinking this, I am enjoying it. It's nice, it's refreshing. It's, but again, and for me, it just runs into the problem where not quite as good as a normal milk tea, not quite as good as a horchata, somewhere in between. The tapioca, the boba at the bottom, it adds a little something extra. But 2 questions have to be asked, folks. Oh, by the way, because this is a local spot, it's going to end up in my sampler platter local love playlist. That playlist is just for like local spots. 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with occasionally and sure, with an asterisk. So for me, again, like, I was really hoping, especially since the bow aspect is like literally at the front of their thing, I was expecting and hoping for more, like, again, just signature creations, things that they could just be like, boom, these are ours, this is what we're about. But I can certainly appreciate, again, just, having the standard flavors, having, the different varieties and stuff. Make your own thing, this one in particular, again, it's good. It's nothing outrageously spectacular, but, I could see grabbing it again, because at the end of the day, I do love a horchata. And if I can get a horchata with a burger, yeah, I can rock that. If I'm recommending it to somebody else, I'll say this, it's not like an awful flavor to start with, like if you've never had, that's kind of where I guess this works out. If you've never had like milk tea and boba and stuff like that, but maybe you have had horchata, maybe it could kind of be like a bridge, I guess. You see where I'm going with that? But again, it does kind of run into the thing, like, especially if you're used to, like, really good horchata, it's certainly not bad. Like, I've had bad horchata. Like, I've had really bad horchata. In fact, I reviewed some canned horchata not too long ago. And, yeah, go watch those reviews if you want my opinion. But, ugh, they were rough. But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody to go out of their way for this particular one. I would say if you want to jump into, like, the boba and the milk tea, look to see if, you've got a spot near you that's, kind of specializes in it more. But this is still a respectable entry. It's not bad. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of the day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, spend this rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly milk tea / horchata-tastic rest of your life, because both of those are wonderful things. Put them together, they're still pretty good, just not quite as good as, by themselves. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always easy to say in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. It's rough, man. And I mean, I've been fortunate the last couple days. I've been doing things. I've been having some pretty good days. Happy. But it's not always going to be that way. There's going to be days that are going to be rough, stressful, frustrating. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe there's a boba place near you that you particularly love, and you're like, Brandon, there's this boba place that's fantastic. It's called Bob's Boba. And you got to go over there and try it out, and you got to go over there and you got to talk to Bob. And I'd be like, all right, well, okay, we'll go over there and we'll talk to Bob. So then I go out to Bob's Burgerz, and it turns out, hey, it's my Uncle Bob. And I'm like, how the hell, what? Uncle Bob? I thought you were dealing with health problems and stuff like that. And he'd be like, I miraculously got better and turned my life around. And be like, holy shit, that's fantastic, Uncle Bob. Why didn't you tell me that you were running a boba station? He'd be like, well, because you haven't gone over there and talked to me in over a year. And I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. Kind of dealing with my own personal crises and stuff like that. Didn't mean to dick out on you like that. Kind of going into a little bit of personal stuff. But, then you reconcile and everything like that, I love my Uncle Bob, he's a good dude. He's just, dealing with his own stuff. And unfortunately, I've just not been in the personal position to be that, like, stable person for him right now, because I just got my own shit, unfortunately. But, that was a weird way to end this one. Sorry. Anyway, bye.